Hello, chicks and girls. Yes, it's February, so it's high time I do a TBR for the entire 2021. Yes, I am a little behind on my video schedule. I know that, but never mind that. You're not here, so you can listen to me complain about my videos being late. You're here because you want to learn my TBR for If You Got It, Read It book tag, which is created by the Spine Breakers, Megan and Sue. There will be a link for the challenge below. It's basically a way for me to read some of the many books I do have, and they're still unread, somewhere behind. And actually, I think this very loaded bookshelves having 2 or 3 rows of books per shelf are worth to have their origin story narrated. But enough with that. Stay focused. I'll need your help for this one, so you better wait and listen where you come in and how you can help me tackle this challenge. And it's free, no money at all. You won't have to pay a dime. Alright, so let's go. Prompt 1. Read a book that you had on a TBR in the past. And I think for this one I'll go for Gormenghast by Mervyn Peake. It's the second book in the Gormenghast trilogy. Actually, it's a quintology, but only 3 books were written before the author died, but never mind, that's the second book. And I had started reading it 2 or 3 years ago, and I was not in the zone for it because the writing is pretty heavy, and I think it's time I finish it this year, so will do. 2. Read a book you've had forever but won't get rid of, and I think for that I'll go for The Promise of the Witch King by Ray Salvatore. I'm not sure it's the oldest read book I have. I may have books I've owned for longer and have yet to read. I'm pretty sure there is at least one older than that, but I bought this book back in 2005 or 2006 when it came out, and I never read it because by the time I got it I had pretty much outgrown Ray Salvatore. I started reading fantasy with Drace, their books, but at that point I was reading Game of Thrones. So yeah, I had been through that, and yeah, I'm just keeping the books I'll read one day. So this year is perfect. It's a perfect opportunity. Oh no, I won't get rid of. I want to read it because I will get rid of it. So that's what it is. We'll see. It's a TBR, so at the end of the year there may be another book. Sucks. Probably I'll see if I still have Dashiell Hammett's Dane Cars, because I think that's an older book. I'm not sure I still have it. Or Borges' Labyrinths, because I definitely had this more than that, and I don't quite remember the book, so I want to reread it. But we'll see. Question 3. Read a book that is not a typical novel. I think for this one I'll go for The Helmet of Horror, The Myth of Theseus and the Minotaur by Victor Pelovin. It's a Russian book and it's written like it's in a chat room. So yeah, that's weird. Not quite sure why I got it in the first place, because it was cheap, probably. I thought, well, it's science fiction. Question 4. Read your longest book or a book over 500 pages. No book over 400 pages for me. I'm not taking this way out. I'm reading The Stand by Stephen King on its full 1400 pages. Yeah, that and the Malazan books means I'll be reading a lot in 2021. Question 5. Read your shortest book or a book under 100 pages. Also, I'm going for the shortest book. I'll either read The Vampire by John Polidori. It is the original vampire novel or something, and it's really short. Or maybe I'll go for Cats and Dogs. It's an essay by H.P. Lovecraft that is 32 pages. Not sure if it counts though. It's a leaflet on the book. Question 6. Read a board book. Our Lady of Darkness by Fritz Lieber. I have bought this book by a friend ages ago when we were still supposed to go out and meet friends, and I think it's time I read it. 7. Read a cover by. I think I'll go for Out of the Night by Patrick Wallen because I got it because it's a very 80s cover. A very 80s horror cover, and a lot of fun. Question 8. Read a book that was recommended to you. Not to me exactly, but I'm currently reading Noam's Room by Jonathan Aycliffe because I've heard so many good things about it on YouTube videos by I think Mears from Harpies and the Trees was recommending this book very highly, so I bit the bait, I got it. I have read about 100 pages of it, and by this point it's awesome. It's a very creepy book. I'm enjoying it a lot. 9. Read a book with a cover that reminds you of your favorite season. So I have to find a book in my bookshelves that reminds me of spring. I'm still out of luck, but we'll see what will turn up. I don't have the Dragonlance books. The Dragonlance books are great for this prompt because there is one for a season. Question 10. Read a book from your most owned genre. I think my most owned genre is probably horror, so I'll go for Joyride by Zach Ketchum. Question 11. Read a book that you have so long you don't remember what it's about. I think I'll go for A Song of Stone by Ian Banks because I looked up in Goodreads and it was one of the first books I put in my to-read shelves back in 2011. So I've got this for over 10 years. I think I got it somewhere in 2008, 2009, and I don't even remember what it's about. Honestly, I think it's post-apocalyptic or something, but no. 12. Read a book by one of your favorite authors, and I think I'll go for Terry Pratchett and The Fifth Elephant. It's the first school book I haven't read. 13. Read a book by an author you've never read before. I'll read a book by Pierce Anthony. I have 3 or 4 of his books. I haven't read any one of them. I know he's comical fantasy in the vein of Terry Pratchett, and I really want to do that. I really need some love in 2021 because, to be honest, I'm pretty sure 2021 was written by Terry Pratchett, where 2020 was written by Stephen King. So yeah, I need comical fantasy because we live in a comical fantasy of sorts right now. 14. Read your most recently acquired book. And I'll go for Idoru by William Gibson for this one. 15. Read a book from the decade you were born. Yes, I should go for an 80s book. I think I'll read Phantoms by Dean Koontz, simply because I want to read it. 16. Read a book from the last decade. I think I'll go for I Remember You by Yrsa Sigurðardóttir, or whatever this Icelandic lady is name is pronounced as. Read a non-fiction book. I don't have a clue, but stay tuned, you'll find out eventually. 18. Read a book with a one-word title. That doesn't count. I think I'll go for Demonic by Stephen Loss. Also a book I had on TBR last year but never got down to reading. 20. Randomly choose a book from your TBR. I will, just not right now. We'll get to that. Actually, tell me a number. Somebody comment a number from 1 to 900 to 949. Yes, you heard correctly. It's 949 books, comic books in my to-read list. Yep. 21. Read a book that reminds you of someone. I think I'll go for Remains of a Day by Kazuo Ishiguro because I remember my late father reading this book when he was at my place some years ago. 22. Read a or underhyped book. There's a good chance I'll do a reread for that. I'll either go for Dark Matter by Peter Straub, which is a book I loved and everybody else hated. So I want to give it another read to see if it was just me being in the mood for that back then, or if it's a book I still like. Or I'll go for The Tooth Fairy by Graham Joyce, which is one of my favorite books ever, and I think it's worth a reread. 23. Have someone else choose a book from yourself for you to read. Alright, that's how it goes. I've got a link to my to-read list of books in Goodreads, so go there and pick a book you want to read, you want me to read, and I'll do my best to read it. I'm not going to pick everybody, but you know, somebody will get there. And 24, read a predicted 5-star read. I think I'll go for Boy's Life by Robert McCammon, because yes, I am planning to read a lot of thick books this year. So that was my TBR for if you got it, read it, which may turn out to be completely different by the end of the year, but you know, I'm a bit of a mood reader. I want to read books that I like, have fun with, not read because I had to fill in a hole, because you know what, no, 22, the Underhyde book. I just remember a book I want to read. It's called Harlem Cotton. It's by a crime author who was an African American man at the 40s and 50s and 60s, I think, and he went to France and became a published author there, writing crime fiction, and I can't recall the name right now, but it will be a perfect book for the Black History Month of February, and it seems to be a lot of fun reading it. So I think I'll go for this one. I cannot recall the name of the author right now, but it probably be on the screen. So yeah, I don't much like reading, being pigeonholed for reading a book to fill in a quarter or something. It's not. I did some reading last year and it was not fun. So I'm not sure it will be that way if I read a book and I'm not reading something and it fits. It will knock out another book. It happens. So that was my TBR. Leave a comment below if you plan to do this one. Hope you do. Go through the book you already have, and I'll go into some booktube consumerism and buy new books, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.